Many long married couples seem to miss out on the advantage of having sex regularly, especially when they realize that they are no longer having babies. But scientists insist that at least having sex thrice a week would do a lot of benefit to our health, psychologically, mentally, and physiologically. But today, we have a lot of married couples, especially after a decade of being married together, not having interest in having sex with each other. And research also has it that this is the reason a lot of couples seem to go apart because who this sexual act, which seem to be what forced the marital bliss, is no longer there. This and many more is what we are going to be discussing today on Women's World. And as always, I have Faye Shara Omonori here with me, and as well as our guest today on the program. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jane Aino. Faye.
Hi, Jane. Just like Jane said, I think for some people, there's a school of thought that sex should only be for procreation, and they cannot see why people have sex for fun, and why sex should be an important, a germane factor in marriage, really. And it has been proven over time in courts and every disagreement that sex seems to be the major issue that causes disagreements between couples. That's what we'll be taking a look at today. It promises to be exciting, so don't go away.
And we have, as always, Bumi Odria. Thank you very much for joining us again. It's really good to have you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, I'm taking a look at this germane issue because over time, both religious leaders, cultural tradition, or what have you, we seem to shy away from this major factor, which is a problem in most marriages, especially when the marriage seems to be about a decade or even before 5 years out thereabouts. You're already losing interest for yourself, and it seems to be like women seem to be the issue sometimes. So many times men will complain that their wives is always complaining of being tired, stress, and all of that. And some men will now say, oh, the reason I am cheating is because my wife is older now, or because my wife would not allow me, and so that is why I need to get someone outside. So I think we have to trash out this. It's a major factor for you.
Yes, just like you said, I think women have been preconditioned, especially in your generation. Yes, there's this a preconditioning that a woman should not have feelings, especially sexual urges, and it's alien to our culture. It's something foreign. It's something bad that should not even be talked about, should not be communicated, should not be felt, especially for women. And that is why we see women being mutilated. That's a female genital mutilation, because they just feel like women should not, it's not even something that we should think about, it's not something that we should talk about. And why is this so?
Just like you said, I think this is one of the topics that receive a lesser attention from even parents. You know, a lot of parents doesn't even want to talk about it, and the older you get, you just find that you just dampen into your sex life without really having no knowledge.
No prior knowledge.
About it. So, and it is whatever you meet there. So it is the libido of your partner that will not determine what you will be faced with. But I think on my own part, I have it the other way around. My mom is from Akwa Ibom, so you know, like people that are
Generally say that you are
so,
sexually very active.
Yes, so I maybe I have that. So
You got those genes.
maybe yeah. But you see, over time in marriage, I've been married to close to 2 decades now. I think by October this year I'll be 19 years in married. By next year I'll be 20 years, and I found out that a lot of things, you know, happens to a woman. For me, I don't feel that that a woman, or maybe other tribes, they are not actually sexually active. But you see, a lot of things go on or a lot of things had to happen before, the eventual, eventually you're having sex. Okay, if you are married, if you are newly married, your mind is just free. There is no child. At least I'm talking about normal, normal lifestyle.
Yes.
Not the type that you are married. I mean, you already
You have
kids
kids
out
before
of wedlock.
marriage, yes.
So your mind is free. So you just want to enjoy yourself. But maybe if you are now lucky, the first year you just got married and you are pregnant. And the moment you are pregnant and your pregnancy tends to be stressful, or difficult in a way, then you just have this mindset. Your mind is reprogrammed. So I always tell people, so your mind is reprogrammed, and the moment your husband wants to touch you, you are like, I don't want, because the next thing that comes to your mind is that you'll be pregnant and you are going back to labor room, and that is going to change the game. So I feel that is one factor that contributes to it. So and I always tell people, please, you understand what labor pain is. You understand what being pregnant means, but a man does not. There is no way you can tell a man, even your fellow women, you can't tell her that pregnancy is like this until she comes into that state. She will never understand. She can only what painful. She can understand the kind of setting, but you see, you cannot. You can't experience it, or you come into it. So when you come into it, yes, it can be painful, it can be this, it can be that, but you just have to also consider your partner. The man is there, and without sex, the house will not thrive. There will not be happiness. There will not be joy, and at the end of the day, you are pushing the guy gradually out.
Okay.
So you understand? So we have to put a lot of things into consideration as a woman, and we begin to not just think about yourself, but that I am in a place where I have to do this thing. So I would employ women to read a lot about sex. Know the benefits.
Okay.
I want to ask this question, because we look at those days, back in those days, and they don't talk about sex. They don't even do it according to them. They rebuke you and whatever it is when you're even as so much as being curious. But then you see them having 7-10 kids. How did they do it? Honestly,
I think
we are not talking about it enough. You people are doing it, so why are you not talking about it? Why are you not finding solutions to issues that may arise whilst doing it? Why is it such a secret cult? What is that thing?
The reason behind that in most cases is because during those days, women seem not to have a right to say no to their husband.
Yes.
Women just give it as a right,
a duty,
whether or not they are interested or they're in the mood. They must oblige their husband. So it seems like sexual satisfaction is at the high rate during those times, because for men, because you have to give it whether you like it or not. And so whether she's ready for a baby or not, it's the man that even determines then. It's not a planned thing between the couple that okay, let's plan for the second baby or not. The man just gets what he wants at the time he wants it, and then baby is here, we must have it. And I'm sure this there was no family planning at the time.
No, they have traditional family planning.
I think the heads,
their own way of
some people are not knowledgeable enough.
But for me, I don't think that the man is actually having his pleasure.
No.
He's just having, to me, looking for a dumping ground.
Yes.
You're a dumping ground, because you see, sex goes beyond just you just coming in, trusting in, and just jumping it and just get out.
Don't you think that some men still have that mentality now?
Yes. A lot of men still
a lot
have
of
that.
men don't agree that it's a sex between their partner should be mutual. It should be it should be consensual. That's the word, because you seem to most understand that this is the mood for us today. You understand? There's this general saying about one kind of sex, quickie. That quickie happens is a sexual intimacy between a couple that happens accidentally.
Spontaneously.
Yes, spontaneous. You are not
are
were
not
not
ready for it
ready.
yet.
It's not planned. It's different from the one that we had to have our baths and then create the
Set
mood
the
and all.
mood and
Yeah,
all that.
but then it just happens, and then. Well, research has it that quickies seem to be the sweetest because we didn't both plan. The mood just comes, accidentally, and we're having it, and it's so short, and that is why it's termed quickie. Okay, but some men even now believe that it's my right. It has to be me, and some men come because they have that feeling and they want to have it. Some men don't even talk about foreplay.
But Jane, let me
You
be
know-
the honest advocate here.
Okay.
If you look at an average Nigerian woman
Yes.
and you are waiting for it to be consensual, the man will not get
It. You're right.
And I think that's the major problem we have in Nigeria, because there are some women that have been preconditioned to think that sex is only for procreation or it's something to be ashamed
yes,
of. So they don't even want to be the first person to initiate.
yes.
So if the man is waiting for it to be consensual, he's going to wait for years.
That's another thing.
They'll wait
It's-
forever.
the, the fact that women always wait for the man to ask. We've been you're
Because
so
they
right
They
to
see it as a
yes.
gift to give.
No, they see it as well. It's not even when they feel like most women when they feel like
feel
having
like,
sex, they don't know how to
approach the man.
or
Yes,
tell,
because
or
if
make
you
him feel because
will
some
make you
men
look you
some men
cheap.
will even say what
That means you must.
that means if I'm not around,
Yes,
you will find a way to get
Yes,
it.
yes.
That is the fears most women
Women
have.
have.
Like, if I ask him now, won't he think that
I'm loose.
Or there's this story I had about a couple because she asked for a particular kind of star.
Uh-huh.
The man withdrew and started feeling that his wife is cheating on him. Only for the woman to just say, I saw it in a movie and I feel
felt-
Yeah, curious.
we could just have it.
It's because they've not
Okay,
been
so that is
communicating
why
enough.
women seem to be withdrawn when it comes to asking for it. But do you also know that sometimes the woman wants it more and it's a problem for the man? Another factor is the fact that some men, it gets to some stage from maybe 40 upwards, they have issues with having sex
Their
constantly
libido.
or satisfying their woman too.
marriages.
So it's not just the men
Yes,
alone. It's not
yes,
just the women
men
alone.
alone.
And that's why you find them in some of all these places they take substance, some form of substance to
Yes, to
sexual
enhance-
enhanced
to
women
enhance
and
their
to just
performance.
be able to satisfy their woman. So it's broad. I think we have
very.
to take a look at this, episode by episode because we can't finish exhausting
Yes.
some of all these factors.
My worry now is that those days they seem to be having more sex. They look at it, yes, they have the children to show for it.
Okay.
We don't, maybe because of family planning and all of that. But there have been stories and questions on why some will go for as long as 4 or 5 years. I'm talking about young couples now, not even older ones, without sex. And you begin to wonder, is it our environment, the financial condition that we are presently in, the stressors? Maybe stress and all of that.
And
Is
it's
that
already
why?
for 5 years.
Yes, 4 or 5 years. What exactly is happening?
There's a problem in that
how are
house.
you even living
No,
together
that-
for 5
those
years
kind
without
of home,
sex?
there are problems in the home. If there are no problem in the home, how would you say that you will not have sex? Except your husband have traveled or your wife traveled. But if the two of you, goes out in the morning and you come back in the evening or whatever, how you run your home, you should have at least once in a month. That is the worst case scenario.
Okay, worst case.
That's the worst case scenario. That at least once in a month. Now you didn't have that. You've not had sex for years, and you are living together. And it's not like one of the parties having
A medical
problem.
problem.
At times, yes, one party or both parties could be having medical problem. Those are condition that is beyond your control. But when it is within your control and you now see it, or some people even take it as a punishment, okay, because you
women
didn't,
do that a lot.
because you
women
didn't do
it a lot,
this.
you're right.
Okay, women do that. Because
Yeah, it's true.
you didn't do this, then I will not
I will
do
withdraw,
that. I will
yes.
withdraw.
So you feel my
Punish
pain.
you. It doesn't
Yeah.
make
Okay,
sense.
I think I
It
want to
doesn't
be
really
weird
make
a little
sense.
bit. I want to
Doesn't.
be a little weird because we need to come to we need to confront the reality. Is it true that you just lose interest in that partner you've been with? Like,
Oh,
you just
definitely.
suddenly, you just don't have that attachment or that emotional attachment
Definitely.
that you don't want to.
Definitely.
You feel like someone else. You feel like new. You feel like, oh, I want to be with someone else. I'm just
Yes.
I think it's
Yes.
true, Jane.
Yes.
And I think men should also understand that it happens to
To
women.
women too. I think
Yes.
that's
But the mistake we make is that we think love is a feeling. Love is a choice.
Yes.
You are choosing continuously
Every
every
day
day
to
choose
be
to
with
be with
this
that person,
person.
even if you don't like that person at that particular time.
Yes.
Because there are cases where you wonder, why did I even marry this guy?
Why
the
did I
first
get
place.
married?
Why did I marry
Yes.
this woman? But you still love that person. But at that moment, you do not like them. But that love has to continue because it's a continuous, a conscious and continuous choice.
And it's a
Yes.
to be with
sacrifice.
that person.
It's actually a
sacrifice.
sacrifice.
So that's what
because-
people don't understand. We are humans. We have feelings.
Feelings.
Feelings can come and go. But you made a choice, a decision to be with that person. That is what you should honor.
Okay.
And you know there are a lot of things you need to go to the root of the matter. Like she said, except there are other problems, a man or a woman should not be sexually attracted to their partner.
Yes.
So if you are feeling not attracted to your partner anymore, then there's something maybe the partner is doing or something that is affecting you.
I think we
And
should
then
take
you
a
need to-
look at
you need
those.
to address.
We need to address this because there are a lot of factors. Okay, now you want to have sex with your partner, maybe after beating up your partner. You know, we have prominent domestic violence going on everywhere.
Some women like it like that.
Yeah, I know. What if you're with someone who doesn't like it that way? You just finish beating her up a
And you
day,
still
and the
want
next
to-
minute you want to be with her, and you expect comfort.
forget.
Yeah, for that sex to go
Even
fine.
that is even far.
That play would not go far.
That
It's
is
going to
even
go.
far.
The match is going to be like.
You know, after you've
you
been
know.
together for it, you know, you've worked, you've done this, the guy is just sitting down there, just, you know, feeling
doing
like the boss
anything.
of the house. Like my husband said, you know, being a man, being a man or a husband or a father, or whatever you want to call them, doesn't make you a boss. Yes, you might be leading, you might be the one that God has assigned to lead, but you are not the boss. You are not the boss. So, but the guy will just sit down and not do anything. You know, you are just going and coming, and at the end of the day, you are worn out. Not that you are tired, you are worn out. And the guy will now come and I say, no, those things are
You
not.
can get irritated.
Yes, yes. So, sex starts in the morning.
Okay.
If you want to have sex in the night, it starts in the morning. The way, you know, and you don't come and, you know, just come and be doing that just because you want sex. You know, it's the way you handle the matter, the way you speak to that person, the way you check on that person, the way the person comes back, and at the end of the day, woman will not feel relaxed.
Exactly. I think
But if-
think to men, I'm sorry. I think to men you should take it as if it's $1 million contract you're about
Yes,
to win. Because
yes.
most men, because you're married to that woman, you feel. I must re-emphasize the fact that women feel for what they hear. You don't tell her often time that you love her. Okay, you're about to have sex in the night, and then you're not sending
Good message,
love
you know?
messages.
Yeah,
like,
yes.
why should all this thing go? Because you feel, I must have it. She's my wife. Yes,
Yeah,
she's your
because
wife.
she's your wife.
It's no,
Yes.
no doubt about it. No, she's your wife, but you should. That foreplay must be constant.
Yes.
Well, it seems Jane is more invested in this topic today. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we're still talking about sex in marriage. Don't go away.
Welcome back from that break. We have been taking a look at sex in marriage. A lot of factors that have been hindering. Wow, a lot of couples who are long in marriage seem to have lost total taste for marriage. I think we also need to take a look at the hormones of women. You know, over time, especially when you're 30 or after having babies, you start having this hormonal imbalance
Imbalances.
which may come as a result of the kind of family planning you're into. I heard that also affects the hormone
Yes.
too. And some of all these factors are things we should admonish ourselves about. Apart from the man feeling bossy or seeing sex as a right, we should also look into, because it's a major problem. And some women are clueless about what to do because it involves sex. It should be as important as your life
Yes.
in marriage.
Marriage.
Because when you say, is it food? That's what some women will tell you. Is it food?
It's
It
food.
is food.
Why
It
is
is
it?
food.
Why is it taking so important?
Hey, it
Or
is
when they
food.
are discussing it, why she's like, why are you so?
so,
Why are you making a big deal out of
Out
this
of
thing?
nothing, yeah.
Our mama, we've not paid their school fees. We've
We've
not
not
done anything.
done
We have a lot of
it.
things to take. But one mama sorrows. Some of all these things should change. You know, I feel it should, we should talk about it. The fact that we are very poor with visiting the therapist again is another
Oh,
issue.
that is a big one. Because you don't even
Because
understand what you're even going
nobody's
through.
a monopoly of
Knowledge.
You feel you know it all and everything is going on fine, but things are not going on fine.
Yes.
That is why we find a resort. You know, that's why we find a resort. I don't know how else we can admonish ourselves.
Yeah, one of the things that I would advise is that, you see, for women have it, comes in different forms, hormones, and all those stuffs. But you see, when you know how to communicate this more with your partner, you have to you have to be open and be able to tell the person, okay, this is how I am feeling, this is how I feel. Especially when you are the type that knows yourself, you're the type that understands how you feel. You should be able to tell you, at this particular time, I understand this, or I study this about myself, and this and that and that and that. At the end of the day, the man will understand. So the moment you say, oh yes, I have it good today, the guy will be able to, okay, there is work to be done. And the day that you don't really have it, then the guy will understand that, okay, my wife carries me along. So one of the things I will employ is that we should be able to carry the men along. We should be open to
Sexual communication.
Yes, because a lot of time, we communicate, but we don't communicate right. We don't communicate, to carry the person along. Just like when you are pregnant too, you just like, the man is not even there. Most times even the men are not there. So by the time the man even comes back, he's also tired, he's also worn out. So, and men are very funny in communication. The day you are not even ready to communicate, that is the day the man will just be like an open tank and he's ready to just pour out, and you are like all more in your mind. It's a wrong day. But as a woman, you just have to be hard. And then you also want to talk to him, you just be like,
And
by the time
attention.
you just zip up, and you just have to carry yourself along so that you'll be able to have the best of yourselves.
Yes, I think one other thing I want to talk about is how women, once they have children, they tend to forget that they had a husband before they have children.
Yes.
And they just neglect the man. Forgetting he's someone's child. He still feels like a child most times. And he wants to be the center of your world in a way. He still wants the attention you were giving him. And I think that's where communication comes in, like you said. Because if you're not careful while trying to take care of your children, while trying to ensure that the baby that cannot talk is all right, the one that you have that can't talk is feeling more jealous.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
So you have to ensure that you try to balance it. I think, I don't know how some people feel. Some people feel that their children comes first. If the man has not done anything to hurt you, I think the man should come first.
The man comes first because the children will soon be leaving.
Yes, and they become two strangers.
Of course.
And that's where you see people not having sex for years.
Yes. Okay, I think the another thing is that in marriage, there's no way we can avoid not hurting ourselves.
Oh, definitely.
The fact that blood runs through our veins, there's no way you will not hurt yourself.
Yes.
But the ability to forgive
Forgive
is
and
another
forgive
thing.
and forgive.
But
and
there are
forgive.
some things that is very hard. Okay, I think these women
can see
generally
how
have this revenge spirit, or so to speak.
Yes.
They always wait for the men to be vulnerable at a stage to now bounce back to what they have been doing to them. Okay, say for instance he has a child, and some women will just never forget the fact that he went to have
was a
extramarital
extramarital
affairs,
affairs.
and then it resulted into having a child. Some will wait until the kids are now abroad or are elderly, and they will just pitch their tent and abandon the man. These are things that men have looked at over time, and they say, oh, they are going for umugo. They will now leave the man all alone in their house to be, to themselves alone. And some women are always waiting for such period, or when the man just falls sick, and how did you treat me when you had, or when you have, the ability to also forgive. If you know you can't forgive him, I think it's the best bet is just leave him or separate from him. Let him move on with someone else. Early enough, with someone else who will not wait for him until that later stage. I think we should just soft pedal on so many things that are leading to all these things. Some don't, like Feyi said earlier, that they don't have sex for 5 years and they're living together. You're just housemates. You're not married.
Yes, and it's how they justify it for me. The vital factor for bringing it together really is sex.
Yes.
And when that is out of it, you can as
They're
well
not
be sharing
married.
the bills.
Yes.
And you just see them, they wear this thing called Anko, and they pretend, because it is pretense.
That's
to
the
me.
word for me. It's pretense. We seem to pretend to be married when we are not.
Yes.
Okay, that is what you must all agree with me, that high percentage of women are cheating today. Married women, they are cheating because of so many things they will tell you, because they say women cheat for a reason, because he did this to me, he did that to me, the parents did this, the family, blah blah blah, and all that, and they seem to resort to cheating too. It's just that women are more secretive. That's why you're not noticing.
It is worrisome, really, why some people will coexist and say they are married. We need to address these issues, whatever it is for you. My marriage is unique from yours. Yours is different from James. So we all have to go back to the drawing table and look at ourselves. What is it that we are doing that is making us have lesser sex or none at all? And address these issues if it involves seeking medical help or therapy or counseling, like Jane said. Let's just find a solution to this, because it's a problem really, and it will have a social effect on the society over time. Jane.
Okay, just like Feyi said, everyone's marriage is unique. You should do what works for you and do everything you can to make your marriage work, especially making sex a priority, because that's what fuels our marriage. Bumi.
Okay, for me, I want us to be more open with one another. Tell yourself what works for you in your house. Be more open with your spouse, so that at the end of the day you'll be able to have a better sexual life. Then the ability to forgive one another, because we're going to be offending one another, but the ability to forgive will make our mind to be open and we'll be ready to have more sex. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Bumi Oduya, for coming on the program today. That's it. Women have talked about it. We can't exhaust it, especially as it deals with sex in marriage. So join us same time next week for another interesting episode of Women's World. My name is Feyi Shara Omonuri.
And I am Jane. I know. Bye bye.